Hey y'all, it's Mama Beth. Welcome back to my kitchen. Today, I have a very important subject that I'd like to discuss. And I'm going to start out with some cold hard facts, numbers, statistics, and I hope that by the end of this video we have a better understanding of what domestic violence is, how prevalent it is, and what we can do to end it, what we can do to help. Okay? The first number I want to give to you is this one. The number of American troops killed in Afghanistan and Iraq between 2001 and 2012 was 6,488. During that same time period, women who were murdered by current or ex-male partners was 11,766. That's almost double the amount of soldiers killed. Women are much more likely to be victims of intimate partner abuse. 85% of all abuse victims are women, 15% men. Women are held captive by domestic violence, physical abuse, financial abuse, emotional abuse, or a combination of three. And here's some numbers. 3. That's the number of women killed every day in the U.S. by a current or former intimate partner. 38,028,000. That's the number of women who have experienced physical intimate partner violence in their lifetimes. 4,744,000. That's the number of women in the U.S. who experience physical violence by an intimate partner every year. 1,509. That's the number of women murdered by men they knew in 2011. Of the 1,509 women, 926 were killed by an intimate partner, and 264 were killed by an intimate partner during an argument. Okay? Here's some more numbers. 18,000. The number of women who have been killed by men in domestic violence disputes since 2003. 1 in 4. The number of women who will be victims of severe violence by an intimate partner in their lifetimes. 1 in 7. It's the number of men who will be victims of severe violence by an intimate partner in their lifetimes. 8 million. The number of days of paid work women lose every year because of abuse perpetrated against them by current or former male partners. This loss is equivalent to over 32,000 full-time jobs. 8 million. 8 million hours a year. 40 to 45. The percentage of women in physically abusive relationships who are raped and or assaulted during the relationship. 18,500. The number of mental health visits due to intimate partner violence every year. $948. That's the average cost of emergency care for intimate partner violence related incidents for women. The average cost for men, $387. Almost a third. 2 in 5. The number of gay or bisexual men who will experience intimate partner violence in their lifetime. 50. That's the percentage of lesbian women who will experience domestic violence, not necessarily intimate partner violence, in their lifetime. 81. The percentage of women who are stalked by a former or current male partner who are also physically abused by that partner. 70. The percentage of women worldwide who will experience physical and or sexual abuse by an intimate partner during their lifetimes. 98. The percentage of financial abuse that occurs in all domestic violence cases. The number one reason domestic violence survivors stay or return to an abusive partner is because the abuser controls all the money. If you don't have any money, what are you going to do? How are you going to escape? $5,800,000,000. The estimated cost of incidents of intimate partner violence perpetrated against women in the U.S. in 1995 alone. 21. The number of LGBT people murdered by their intimate partners in 2013. 50% of them were people of color. This is the highest documented level of domestic violence homicide in the LGBT community in history. 2.6 times. The amount of times more likely a transgender person of color is to become a victim of intimate partner violence than a non-LGBT person. 70 times. The amount of times more likely a woman is to be murdered in the few weeks after leaving her abusive partner than at any other time in the relationship. 70 times. That's scary. 10 million. The number of children exposed to domestic violence every year. 25. The percentage of physical assaults perpetrated against women that are reported to the police annually. Only 25% get reported. That means 75% hide it. They keep quiet. They're afraid to report. They think they have nowhere to go, or they're afraid if they do report the assault, the violence, the abuse, and they leave, look at the statistics. They're 70 times more likely to be murdered in the few weeks right after they leave. It's a terrifying prospect, isn't it? Do you stay and keep getting abused, or do you leave and risk it? We're going to go over all of this. We're going to talk about different situations, different stories, one in particular. So hang on. I'm going to try to do my editing so I get all this together and it's not a mile long. Okay? Now I'd like you to think back. Think back on your own experience. Think back upon people you know who have been in abusive relationships. And I want you to think about what you or felt or what they have told you. But domestic violence usually always happens in a cycle. It keeps going around and around, just like a Ferris wheel. The first is the tension building phase, where there is verbal abuse, fighting, putting the woman down, telling her she can't do anything right. I deserve a better wife. I should have married so-and-so. You know, just constantly putting the woman down, and the anger builds within the battering partner. The second part is the physical abuse, the actual explosion, acute battering episode. Okay, that's when it finally peaks. There's violence. The woman gets beaten. The woman gets hurt. The woman may get killed. And that's the most dangerous part of the cycle. Okay? Now, unfortunately, and I have been in a domestic violence situation. 18 months I lived it. But if you've ever been in that situation, sometimes you know it's coming. And there are times that you just want to get it over with. Okay? Sometimes you're just like, just hit me, the bruises will heal, then he'll calm down. Because after that, the honeymoon phase starts. And that's when it's all, I'm sorry, I'll buy you flowers, the jewelry comes in, the trips, taking you out places. Just all sunshine and roses, right? But it doesn't last long, and you go back to the tension building phase. And it goes around and around. It's like a Ferris wheel. And it's hard as hell to get off. I'm going to be discussing one such case today. Someone who is in an abusive situation. She's being stalked, harassed, threatened, and she's scared. And I want you to understand her story. I'm going to tell it with her permission. I interviewed her today, both by text and by phone. And I got her side. I also have seen all the evidence from her abuser's side. And we're going to discuss that. And I'm going to try to do this in parts so I can edit and make it not a mile long. I know sometimes my videos run long, but if I've got a lot of information and I feel like it's pertinent, I want to make sure you have it. So you don't have to come and question and, in the comments so much. I want to give you everything, okay? So get you a drink, get you a snack, strap on, okay? First off, who is Gerard? She is the CEO and founder of Gerard Cosmetics. Okay? Okay, if you're familiar with Gerard Cosmetics, they're a great makeup line. They're all over. They have influencers showing their products off, and it's good makeup. I have some. Okay, now Jen she has about 50 people working under her, both executives in her company and throughout the warehouse. She hired a man, and we're going to call him Tom, because I don't want to trigger him into behaving any worse or hurting her or doing anything else. Tom was hired to be her assistant, and that was back, let's see, it had been 2016. I want to make sure I have my dates right. Now, as her assistant, he was okay. She thought he was nice. He thought she was nice. Apparently, there was mutual attraction. She said it. You know, I liked him. He pursued me. I pursued him. But it was an equal relationship. Okay, he was never at risk of losing his job or anything like that. And if you know anything about relationships within a workplace, people say, don't ever do it. Well, I'm one of the ones that says, don't do it, because things like this can happen. But, you know, she made a mistake, and he, you know, he wanted to be involved with her. And so, you know, they had a relationship. They dated for a while. It seems that they went to Europe. He begged her to let him go to Europe and be her driver/assistant while she was working there. And she had had enough of him by the time she got back from Europe. She said that things weren't adding up. The stories he told, the lies he got caught in, he would just say, you know, it's no big deal. Also, she noticed that she had told him the things that her ex-boyfriend had done and that, you know, she didn't like, and things that upset her or made her uncomfortable. And apparently he made it his goal to be the exact opposite of her ex. He was putting on an act. Okay, well, the act got thin. It wore through. So she broke it off before Easter in 2017, and then he asked her to go to his birthday party. She said, no, we're not dating anymore, and I don't feel comfortable celebrating your birthday when we're not going to be together all year. You know, she didn't want to be celebrating with him and all his friends. It would feel disingenuous. I can understand that. I'm sure any of you can. So after they broke it off, he started sending texts. He would send crazy texts and then apologize. Say, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. And then he would get alone at night or upset during the day when he hadn't seen her or been in contact with her, and he would keep sending her texts. She has thousands and thousands of texts from this guy. I got the screenshots. I got all of it. So she wanted to get him out of her regular daily existence in her office. She didn't want him to be her assistant anymore. However, she didn't want to downgrade his pay either. So she put him in the warehouse. He had a good salary. He still had his good salary. He also managed to talk her into helping him get his kids back. He didn't tell her the truth. He lost custody of his children because, and let me make sure that I have the date right, Christmas of 2016. That was just before they started dating. His children were put into a foster home and a group home. He has 3 children. And the reason is he beat up his own daughter at his ex-wife's. Now think about that. He went to visit at Christmas, and he grabbed the daughter, he beat her up, he slid her down a wall, and then smashed her face into the wall. You know, DCFS was called, and they charged the mother. They said that she failed to protect her children against him during a visit. Okay? So she lost custody, he lost custody, they took the children away. Well, he didn't tell Ms. Gerard the whole story, apparently. She paid $30,000 to a lawyer to help him get his children back, because he said that, you know, of course they were in foster and group home. He wanted them with him, and, you know, his ex-wife, of course. They always tell you their ex is crazy or evil or whatever. They don't tell you the whole story. That's the way it goes. So she's paid $30,000 for a lawyer. He complains that he doesn't, you know, he's going to have to be checked out by Children and Family Services. So she lets him stay in an apartment owned by the company, rent-free. He also has access to a company credit card. He charges $4,000 worth of custom-made furniture to the company credit card. Well, they notified Gerard and said, hey, there's a $4,000 charge on here. And she was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. She called the furniture company and she said, I don't want this. I didn't order this. And they said, sorry, it's custom made and it's going to this address and there's nothing we can do. And she said, oh, yes, there is. You send it to my house. That's my company credit card. I own the company. I'm not putting $4,000 worth of furniture into that house. It's going to my house. I don't blame her a bit. But you know, when you've got someone who's abusive and has a history of violence, things like this can set them off. But she didn't know. So she's paying for his lawyer, letting him live in an apartment. He has access to the company credit card. He also had access to a vehicle. You know, Jen explained to me, you know, she's Christian. And a lot of people, one person in particular, who has a fascination with how evil churches are and became focused on Scientology, which, you know, that's his business. But not everybody who is a Christian is bad. All Christians aren't members of cults, things like that. That's ridiculous. However, we're taught, and like she explained to me, she was taught that if someone needed help, she would give it to them. You know, she has helped employees buy vehicles. She has helped them with, you know, extra pay. She's paid for one person who didn't have insurance yet. I think she said they broke their arm. She paid the hospital bill for that. But she doesn't brag about all that. You know, I had to say, okay, explain to me what you mean by you helping people out. You know, I had to beg for the information, and when she did, she said, you know, when you do something good, it says in the Bible you're not supposed to, you know, sound the trumpet. And that's true. Like when we do charitable things, we don't shout it from the rooftops. And she's the same way. Okay? Helping him was a matter of Christian duty. She thought she was doing the right thing for a father to get his children back. So to suggest otherwise is crazy. Now, if you work in her factory, you'll find that her employees are very happy. She has an extremely low turnover rate. In fact, in the last 6 months, she's lost one employee. And that was, he had been there, I think she said about since the doors opened. And he had gotten raise after raise, and he had gone to school, become skilled in a different field, and he went on to work at his dream job. Nobody wants to work at a factory forever. Well, some people do, but, you know, most people want to move up if they're young and they have a chance. And she said that, you know, she was happy for him to find a job in his field of choice. But nobody's quit. Nobody's saying there are harsh work conditions. Nothing like that. She says she gives regular raises and, you know, benefits, and her employees are happy. We'll get to more on that. It was a good atmosphere when Tom left. She said that things in the warehouse went back to normal and the tension went down when he finally got out of there. But while he was there, he had some demands. He wanted more money. He wanted all of the stuff back that he was used to getting, like use of her car. And he was furious when they made him leave the company apartment. Because once they found out what he was doing and how he was acting, turns out he was dating 3 other women while he was dating Jen. You know, he wasn't honest at all, and they basically wanted him out of the apartment. He was making enough money. He could afford to get his own place. She said, you know, they gave him ample time. He wrote emails, he screamed, he threw temper tantrums. He actually went to attack the lawyer. It's a mess. He just went ballistic. Okay, so they get him out of the apartment. Now, okay, let's get back to the behavior that she was witnessing. In December 26th of 2016, Tom went to his ex-wife's apartment complex where she lived and worked. She was in Minnesota with her family for the holidays. He told the security guard there that he was there to kill her. He showed the gun. They did not prosecute him for this because the security guard said he could not identify him. Okay? But he had charges against him for hitting his child, and where Jen had been harassed by him continually. She went to Chipotle, of all things, and he blocked her in, and he was honking the horn, and he was scaring her, and she finally got the police there, and she got charges against him. And so he ends up going to court. The 2 charges, he took a plea on that, and he was jailed 4 months and 3 months, but he stayed from January 10th until March 30th of 2017 because it's LA. It's California. Prisons are crowded. Jail's crowded. So the stipulation was he had to report to court every month. A few weeks ago, the judge said he didn't have to report anymore. That's when the harassment got worse. That's when Ms. Gerard started really getting harassed and bullied and scared. Okay? She has an order of protection against him. She's had one since his court date. She's gotten it for multiple years. And I'll tell you, usually they give you a restraining order or a protective order for a year. It has to be pretty serious for it to be more than that. At least it does in my state. So she has it, I think she got for 3 years. That's what my notes say. And when he got out of jail, he broke the protective order by sending emails and texts and calling her. And she said he called her from so many different accounts, she couldn't keep up with all of them. He texted her from multiple accounts. And I'll be showing you the screenshots. I'll show you, or you know what? It's easier if I just read them. But after he had done all this and got out of jail, she was afraid for her life. The texts are very threatening. The ones that I saw would make me feel uncomfortable. Boys, behave. Behave. I would have been afraid too. She purchased a gun. She stayed in a hotel for over a month. She said security for her house was $1,200 a month. That's a lot of money. That's a house payment in a lot of places. Okay? So 3 weeks ago, he was told he didn't have to report to court every month, and basically he was just on regular probation. The prosecutor understands that he is still harassing her and wants to take care of this. All right? Now, you talk about somebody using their children to get money or to try to make themselves look good. It turns out that he hasn't seen his kids since March of last year, hasn't made an attempt to show up. He makes appointments but doesn't show, and he has not paid child support in 5 years. They started garnishing his wages, but every time they do, he goes back and appeals it. So his ex-wife is constantly having to go back into court, which that's really hard if you're a working woman, right? If you're having to go to court every month to get what you're owed to take care of your children, 3 children, okay? In the DCFS case where he beat his daughter severely, Jen was subpoenaed. She has texts threatening her if she shows up. Okay? That's some serious stuff. And I'll be going through the text here in just a minute. Now, Jen doesn't talk about her charity work a lot, but she has a charity for domestic violence victims of domestic abuse. She donates $10,000 a year, and she has other friends who donate as well, and she just wants to turn negatives into positives, and that's what she wants to do by having her story told here as well. She wants the truth out because there have been a lot of lies told, and I want to go through each one of those as well. But if you'd like to donate to a good cause in the Los Angeles area and you live in that area, it's Tree of Second Chances, and you can look it up. If you don't live there, there is a domestic violence shelter, a women's shelter in about every county of every state or parish if you're in Louisiana. But check it out. Donate to it. We're going to get more into that in just a second. Hang on. Okay, let's look at some texts and some emails. As you can see, this is Jennifer Gerard. That's her. And I'm going to read the texts that she sent me, and they are screenshots of threatening texts that she got from Tom. Okay? She said, first off, Tom was never charged in the security guard case because the guard witness was either unable or unwilling to identify him with any kind of certainty. He said it looked like him, but he wasn't sure. And she said by that point, she was already scared and terrified. She went and stayed in the hotel until she could get 24-hour security at her house. Tom did plead guilty to violating my restraining order and his ex-wife's restraining order and intimidating a witness who was me. I was subpoenaed to testify in his DCFS case. So, he was threatening me to keep me from doing that. He was texting me from about 15 different numbers with all kinds of foolishness. Okay, and I have, here you go. This is what I'm going to be reading. This is Wednesday, December 14th. And it says, don't come back up to that court. If we hear one more thing about your interference, you will really have something to fear. Your destruction will come soon. Confirmed, you spoke under oath December 22nd, 23rd, Lancaster Courthouse. Confirmed through text April 22nd, protect against formal complaint. Confirmed lies under oath November 4th. Confirmed lies of case through Exhibit D. Confirmed receipt of complaint before case filed. Confirmed that you interfered with a children's case that didn't involve you. We all knew the judge wasn't going to read all those texts. Point was, you get to lie under oath. You're bound by what you said. Tell Mr. Cohen to reply to the EEOC so you can lie some more. Thanks for your ignorance. Okay, let's stop for just a second. Okay, Tom has accused her because he got violent and, she put him, he was lying. She put him in the warehouse. He said that there was sexual harassment. That first it was an unfair work environment, and she had to have an assessment done by an independent contractor. They said everything was above reproach, that actually he was getting more than the other employees were. They advised her to take away the apartment and the credit card and not give him access to her vehicles. Tom has demanded to see that report, but it is not his right to see it. She commissioned an independent counsel, She contracted an independent agency to make sure that he had a fair work environment. They interviewed him. They interviewed everyone around him. They interviewed pretty much everyone in the company. That's why Jen didn't want to give Tom a copy of the report as well, because he's already harassing her. He is harassing his ex. What do you think is going to happen when that report comes out and he sees the names of the people who said he had a fine work environment? He was getting more than other people. All of those people would have been on his harassment list. It's kind of like reporting a YouTube video, trying to strike a video. They give the idiot that, made the video in the first place that you're trying to avoid or try to get away from and you want them to stop. They give them all your information, which is stupid. You know? So she wasn't giving him that report. I don't blame her. I totally understand. She was protecting her employees, and that's what a good boss does. So you can see he's trying to intimidate her here. He's calling her a liar, telling her she lied under oath and all this stuff. And but with the sexual harassment, the reason that he went to the EEOC is because he couldn't get a lawyer to take his case. Okay, you don't go to the EEOC when you're first sexually harassed. When I was sexually harassed the last couple times, I went right down to my buddy who's a lawyer. Went to school with him, he's great. And I asked his advice, and he said, you can do this, this, or this. Never once was it mentioned that I go to the EEOC because I had enough proof. Okay? Tom couldn't find anybody to take his case, so he went down there and, you know, whined to the EEOC, who by law have to take whatever he says at face value and do an investigation. Okay? So it's not like he's got any great big lawsuit against her. You know, the sexual harassment is crap. So the next text, 2007, no, in here, in case you want to see it. 2017 will be the year that all your lies come back on you. The year of karma and destruction for you. Numbers 32:23. Don't you love it when somebody evil starts quoting the Bible? Be sure and know that your sins will find you out. Stay away like you were told. Okay? Talk about chopping up a verse. Okay? And then on 12:20, now that you were sufficiently warned, this is 12:20, 2016. Now that you were sufficiently warned, if you continue to interfere in what is not your business, you will pay. You will get what's coming to you. You won no battles, but bound yourself with what you have said, and you will pay. And the next one's sideways. So I'm going to have to do this. Lie on me. Now this was 6/15/16. Lie on me and I'll get revenge by spreading the truth. I have no respect for what I've experienced. I will tell everyone the truth of how nasty Jennifer Gerard is and this company's shady practices on how they treat their employees. This is sexual harassment, targeting, retaliation, and creating hostile work environments for employees who are whistleblowers. Now, this is common. If you notice, he's turned it around to where he's the victim now. You know, never mind the fact that she paid $30,000 for his lawyer, gave him a free place to stay, transportation, company card until he abused it, and he got a trip to Europe, and he was in a consensual relationship. Okay, he didn't say no, I'm not interested, did he? No, he wanted to go. And when she cut him off and cut off his money, his gravy train, that's when the harassment started. So anyway, remember, in case you're getting the dates mixed up, and I'm going to have to go back through and make sure that I have the dates right. They dated in 2016, from February to March. Okay, so this is June 15th, 2016 that he sent this one. All right, June 15, 2016. There are tons of these. You will learn all that you can't intimidate or scare, that you can't intimidate or scare someone who has nothing to lose and doesn't possess fear. I will bring a lawsuit to this company and bring it to the ground. I was silent because it employed church members and I cared for everyone else's job. But clearly, none of you cared about mine or my livelihood when you knew I was being sexually harassed. I pray God gives this back to all of you to see how this feels. These were sent to her employees because not only was he sending her thousands of texts, like, you know, with an obsessive intensity, he was also texting all the employees. And then here's another one. Love God so much? Where is he in this situation? I know he's not back in this. I'll pass that report around to the extent you guys pass my messages around when I responded to the attacks I received. He's being a victim, even though he's the one who's doing the harassing. Okay, he pretends to be the EEOC, someone from the government agency, because, you know, they text people important things. It's really shows a lack of thought. Okay, this is September 16th. It was good to see that Tom White was reported to a state agency. It was good to see your name attached for more details. Better hope your report matches to the state. Match the investigation report to Jeff Cohen Law Firm. His employee paperwork from his write-up looks really interesting. And then it goes on to say, employees have 6 months to report discrimination and harassment. Thanks to your extreme, you've made our job a lot easier. Please feel free to take a screenshot and send it out. Yes, you'll need Jesus once the investigator is directly spoken to. Now he's pretending to be from the EEOC, but that doesn't sound even close to professional. It sounds like the threat it is. Is it intelligent to have Jeff call us multiple times saying he is Mr. White's attorney, Tom's attorney, to get info? Was it intelligent not to give Tom that investigation report that we'll get anyway? You thought Tom was alone, so you picked on him. Anything retaliatory that you do or try will be monitored closely. FYI, attacking someone, then recording their response isn't a defense, by the way. Mr. Cohen can call now, saying he is Tom's attorney again. Saying he is Tom's attorney again. We are open. Oh, Mr. Cohen can call now, saying he is Tom's attorney again. We are open now. It's being recorded. Thanks. So he's still pretending to be from the EEOC, and he's still threatening, and he's losing his grip. You can tell that the anger is taking over, but he thinks he's being smart. Harassers, stalkers, abusers, they always think they're able to get away with everything. Most have a personality disorder, but I'm not diagnosing this guy because, frankly, I don't know him. I'm reporting the facts. And then, here's this one. Okay? Know when you're sitting in church this morning that you're not blessed. I realize how low and despicable you are to attack my family and to try to inflict harm on me. Your money and the people around you is not a blessing to you. You did this because you're empty and low and you have nothing. All right, so these, then it's got a number. They will get that report and they will attack you to the extent you attacked me. I'll pass the report to your enemies. Now, what he's talking about here is the report that she had done by the independent company to make sure that he had a good work environment. There was no hostility, nothing was wrong, okay? He wanted that report bad. Now, he also, if you heard, accused her of breaking up his family. She wasn't the one who beat the daughter and shoved her head up against the wall. He wasn't the one who caused his ex to get, a protection order against him. He did that himself, not Jen. She was actually trying to help him. Okay, the independent report investigator, the investigation clearing me, and he kept asking for, and I'm not showing this, he kept asking for a copy of the report, which we were not required to give him, and I did not want to place the employees who spoke to the investigator in any further danger. And these are Jen's words. She wrote this to me. I am their employer, and I owe them a safe place to work. But you can see how he threatened to do exactly what he has done now. There are thousands of texts. There are emails. There are texts to employees. He was out to harass her to the point that people wanted to leave the job. He thought that they would walk out after taking so much abuse from him. They say, you know what, I can find another job that's easier and I don't have to deal with some crazy guy texting me all the time. What he didn't count on is that Jen has a very strong church community. And, most of the people who work for her have some affiliation with her church, and why not? If you have a strong church family and someone there's an accountant or they're licensed to do HR or things like that they're good at managing, project managers or whatever, you hire people that and you feel you can trust, and that's what she did. Now, you're going to see that she's attacked for hiring members of her church family, but we'll get to that in just a minute. just know that these texts that I read, you know, they're a minuscule part of what she has received. And they're already scary. So let's go on to what's happened lately. If you've heard this before, you'll know exactly where this is going.
Welcome to mango tea. Mango tea. Made in China, bitch. What?
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about mango. Okay, who is this guy? Well, his name's Stephen Mango. He has a YouTube beauty drama channel that he just started up called Mango Tea. There are excellent beauty channels, drama channels. I'm not a fan of his. He's had to retract things. He had an issue with an ex-employer where he had to publicly apologize. So, Mr. Mango is not known for being, shall we say, 100% on the money, legally, truthfully. There have been some things that he has reported that are false. Oh, and I have proof. Now, what I'd like you to do is, you can, if you haven't seen his videos yet, even though I don't want him to have the views, because that's just supporting nonsense, is to understand, if you haven't seen the videos, I'll explain what he said. If you have, you'll remember. And if you want to use that block and go watch his stuff, go watch the 2 videos. What happened with Mr. Mango? He was contacted by Tom, okay? Remember, Tom just got off the monthly court visits and he still is under a protective order from Gerard. But he reached out to Mango Tea and started telling his side of the story. He wanted him to understand that he was sexually harassed. No proof of it. A report to the EEOC. And when I'm saying there's a report to the EEOC, you can work by yourself and claim a hostile work environment to the EEOC. They have to write it down. I mean, if there's any possibility at all that there could be something wrong, they have to take it down. They have to investigate. It does not mean that there is a lawsuit going on. A lawsuit is very different. Tom does not have a lawsuit for sexual harassment against Gerard. That's a fact. Okay? So Mango's getting all this information from the abusive ex and the harassing ex-employee who has Jen so worried that she's got an order of protection and getting 24-hour security, and she's terrified that her, something's gonna happen to her dog, and she's stressed. Well, Mango Tea decides to take everything that this guy says at face value. He buys it hook, line, and sinker, and he makes a video. Okay, Jen sees the video and she panics. She's like, oh my God. No, this will just make it worse. And if you give attention to people who are harassing you, threatening you, when they get a foothold and they think they've got support, they become more daring. We know this. She knew this. And if Mango had contacted Jen before he made the video, he would have been able to understand that she had a side too, and she was the one that was the victim, not Tom. Okay? So she sent him an email. It was 3 a.m. She saw it, she said, about midnight, and she was freaking out. And, of course, who's going to sleep after you see a video, basically trying to redeem the man who has tormented you for 2-3 years now? Okay? And, she sent the email, but by the next morning, when he got the email, she had asked him to take it down, and she asked him, let me see, everything that she asked him to do, he promised he would do several things, and I'm quoting from her text, as you see here. He promised he would do several things when we spoke on the phone, because she not only talked to him by email, she also spoke to him on the phone, and I believe they texted as well. Any rate, he promised he would do several things when we spoke on the phone. The first was that he would take the video down immediately. He did that. The second was that he would give me the emails, because Mango had received 2 emails. One that was from Tom, and then one that you'll see later from a so-called employee. All right, she wanted the emails. She needs them. She's in the middle of a legal dispute. This is a law. There are laws that have been broken. This guy's a criminal. Those emails should have been sent to her immediately. Okay, he said he was going to send it. The third was that he would discuss domestic violence on his channel and how women are treated by the system and how difficult it is to get justice. The fourth is that he would donate his AdSense money from that video to my local domestic violence center. I emailed him all the information plus a list of items that people could donate to their local DVC that everyone would have in their home. And I'm sorry, I'm mistaking her grammar, and I'm reading it straight. Okay, so he made those promises. Anyway, he didn't do it. He's refusing to do it. But I'm going to show screenshots right here of exactly what she sent him. Amazing. Unused items needed: toiletry, makeup, skincare, cleaning supplies. Most cities have domestic violence resource centers. I recommend you calling your local center to find out what they are in need of most. Thank you for making a difference. Have a great day. Okay, so here's the email. Well, if it'll... But you can see. Whoop, I do not want to delete the photo. But you can see that came from her. Okay, then the next one. Oh, this is the beginning of the email, so that way you can see who it's from. It says to Stephen F. Mango at Yahoo. Here's a website to donate or learn more about services. Any local domestic violence center can use cash donations. Those that have shelters also need, and she goes through the list. Okay, there you see where she sent it to him. I hope that's clear enough. And there's where she's sending him the information. That's the first part of the email. Okay? Now, why didn't he send her the emails? She's explained her situation. She said that she was very nice on the phone to him, which for some reason he found unsettling. I guess maybe he thinks that anyone that is nice or forgiving, because she said she wasn't mad at him. She told him, she said, look, everybody makes mistakes. You didn't know my side of the story. I wish you had gotten my side of the story, but let's move on from this. I'm not going to be angry. Just please remove the video, send me the emails, and, donate the AdSense to the Domestic Violence Center. And if you'll please do a video talking about domestic violence. She didn't need a big apology video. She didn't need a rundown of everything that's gone on. She just wanted him to speak on domestic violence. Much like I am. Much like I have in the beginning. All through now. Okay? Now, Mr. Mango says that he would have sent them to her if he'd gotten anything from her asking. That she has his number, several emails, and she can get in touch with him anyway, but she hasn't. So she's gone to Sanders, Kennedy, and a couple other channels, 3 other channels, and asked them for help. Ask them if they can get a copy of the emails, because she needs them for her case. Okay? Now, let's see. I want to make sure that I get this right. She says, I did not get Saunders to make a video. Saunders wanted to make a video. I was hesitant at first, but after I started seeing comments pop up on other YouTube channels and Instagram about me being a sexual harasser, I felt that my name needed to be cleared. Again, if Mango T had made the video in a timely manner, all of this could be avoided. I have downloaded the videos, but I have no intention of suing unless he keeps going. I'm not a vindictive person, but let's be real. I'm only going to take so much. I totally understand that. Okay? And then she goes on. So anyone who offered to help me get the emails, I accepted their offer. I need those emails. And he promised to provide them. I have text messages saying so. Ha. Nothing escapes when you put it in text or on the internet. First rule of the internet. I am a 50-year-old woman, and I was not going to blow up his phone. He said he would send them twice, and then he ignored my text message after that. He had 10 days to make a new video talking about domestic violence and provide me the emails. He did not do that, so I allowed Sanders to make a video, and my lawyer sent a cease and desist. He went all mad and crazy because he got a cease and desist, but the fact remains, if he had done what he said he would never have gotten one. He told me that he would send me the emails that day and record a new video and donate his AdSense money to the local DVC, etc. She goes down through that. I'm not going to read that again. Now, he made a second video and then a third. So the first one he took down, but then he put another one up that was kind of convoluted. Said that he thought maybe the guy, Tom, was lying, but he wasn't sure, and he was going to present all sides and all of this. Then he made a second one and showed himself tearing up the cease and desist, and he goes into detail, giving information like, well, it's already out there, like the fact that she moved, and she didn't want that out. He also said how you could find out where she had moved. You know, it drives me crazy that he didn't connect that this guy was dangerous. She has an order of protection against him for a reason. So does his ex-wife. He has a $125,000 bond. You don't get a bond like that for doing nothing, okay? This guy's scary and he's got a record. And she's afraid. Yet, Mr. Mango just goes, oh, but he might have a side to his story. Well, yeah, I'm sure he does. But is it the right one? Come on. You don't believe that for a minute. I don't. I think the whole thing with Mango was just to hurt Jen. Now, we'll get more in that in a minute. Let's talk about evidence and text messages and screenshots of said text messages. Because I got them. Okay. In his second video, Stephen Mango T, I'm not even going to try to do that. He said that she didn't ask him and he didn't promise to give her the emails. That if she had asked him, he would have sent them. Okay, I have proof that they have each other's email. Here we go. This was given to me today. So it was the day before. See it? Hi, is this Jen? This is Stephen Mango T. I wanted to discuss with you the video I made and the email I received. Well, she says, call me. Okay, 1 minute. And then he gives her his personal email. Okay? She said, got it. Next. See, got it at the top. Okay? You can stop this if you want and take a better look at it. Are you able to send me the emails you received? This is Jen asking. Yes, I will forward the ones I saved when I'm on my computer. Thank you. Your thumbnail is still pinned on Twitter. He says working on it. Just removed my Instagram post. Give me a sec. All right, the thumbnail that she's talking about was her face, her name, and then Karina Kaboom and Jacqueline Hill, which have absolutely nothing to do with this situation. Okay, they are minor details. Jacqueline worked with them for a while. They had a good business relationship. They parted company. Okay, some people wanted to make big drama out of it. I don't care. I don't care. People collaborate and then go their separate ways. That's fine. There is an issue with Karina Kaboom that happened 3 years ago. Jen apparently was with Manny MUA and I think a couple other people in his kitchen, and they were Snapchatting. They were showing her how to do Snapchat, and they pulled up a video of Karina just bashing the crap out of Gerard Cosmetics. Now, if you remember, back when Karina first started, she was a nail polish review channel. Didn't go over too well. She decided that beauty drama was better. It was more lucrative. She could get more views that way, and boy, she does. But she tore in on Gerard Cosmetics like nobody's business, holding the lipstick up and shaking it like that. And the thing that struck me, I have seen that video. I think it was one of the first ones of hers that I ever watched. And I kept thinking, why is she so angry? Why doesn't she return it? Call customer service and return it. And I asked Jen, I said, do you have a problem with customer service? Is that why she was so angry? What was going on? And she said, no. And she never bought our products. She wanted to be on our PR list. We told her no. Then we were told that she got some from other people's PR, which we were fine with. And she said, then she kind of went crazy, but in the video, and it's pretty rough. She just tears them a new one for no reason. But Jen said, I don't know why she didn't just send the lipstick back, and customer service would have replaced it or refunded her money. And if you've worked with different companies, you know that customer service is what's important. God knows, like, the companies that I've ordered from, Anastasia Beverly Hills, Jeffree Star, Kat Von D, to name a few, I haven't had any issue with anything I've ordered from Gerard Cosmetics, but I tell you what, the other companies are really good to work with you. Actually, Jeffree Star, I got a lipstick and it was a shade I didn't particularly care for, and I sent it back. I said, I think I need something that is less orange, more burgundy, and damn if they didn't send it. Calabasas. That's customer service, and we were talking about that. And I said, okay, there's an allegation that you called Karina ugly. And she said, I did, but it was taken out of context. And I said, put it in context. And she said, she said, I don't curse. She's not going to sit up there and go, God, what a bitch. She doesn't talk like that. And listen, I talked to her for a long time today, and she didn't say so much as a shit. I'm guilty of doing that. All right, but she said she doesn't cuss. She said, but what I said was taken out of context. What I meant was she's acting ugly. Like in the South, if you say, he's ugly, he's just ugly, it doesn't mean that he's physically ugly, facially ugly. What it means is he's not acting well. He's mean. You acting ugly? Are you being ugly? God knows if you're from the South, you've heard that 1,000 times. Well, that's what she said she meant. She's just ugly. She didn't elaborate, and Stephen Mango tried to say that she kept on and on bashing Karina on the phone, and I asked her if there was any truth to that. And I said, I need to know, because he's gonna keep telling that story unless you tell different, and I need to know. She said, no. I told him the same thing I'm telling you. She said, my story hadn't changed. She said, people keep trying to say that I said personality or person after that, but I didn't. She said, I didn't need to. Everybody there knew what I was saying. Not that she's physically ugly. She wasn't attacking her looks. She was attacking her character and the way she was behaving. I get it. If they don't, fine. If you're going to be mad at Karina, if Karina Kaboom's going to be mad at somebody 3 years ago saying she's ugly, and she's still going to be mad about it, which she seems she is. She holds grudges. That's her problem. We all get called names. God knows I do. Nobody gets through life without being called a name or two. You learn to get over it, especially the one that's, meant like that. Anyway, that was the deal with Karina. And she said that Steve Mango is lying about the rest of it. She said, he's making this up. And I said, well, let's go to the copies. She said, let's do. She started sending them. And as for his saying that he did not have, as a final note, I'd like to remind everyone that all Jen asked was for the video to be removed, the original one, and him to do a video instead on domestic violence. Please donate the AdSense that he got from the video slandering her and with all the accusations. She said, please donate that to the Domestic Violence Center. And she just wanted the emails. It wasn't that hard. She didn't need a big full-on video. Also, there's something that he had in his video that I'm not going to include. I thought about letting his video play a little bit and go down through it. But the list of accusations, they're ridiculous. And obviously, Jen is unhappy about what is being said. But she also said that it doesn't sound like Tom wrote that. It sounds like Steve Mango wrote that, allegedly. So I'm not putting that in there. If you want to see all the crap that was put in that anonymous email to, I think, lend credibility to a video that has none, then you're more than welcome to skip on over to that channel. But I'm not going to further any of this lying, viciousness, and hatefulness about this. Remember, Mango T said he was going to leave this alone and not make any more videos. Let's hope he does. Let's hope he removes the ones he has and does what he promised. Y'all have a good day. I love you. You love you. Bye.